TTN Radio. Hear the difference.
I'm Shane Bigham. China's offered condolences over the death of Queen Elizabeth II. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning says Queen Elizabeth devoted herself to promoting national development and promoting friendly exchanges between the UK and other countries. Mao says the Queen was the first ever British monarch to visit China, and she also hosted many Chinese leaders on visits to the UK. The spokesperson says Queen Elizabeth made important contributions to enhancing understanding between the Chinese and British people and expanding friendly exchanges between the two countries. She added that China is ready to continue to work with the British royal family and all sectors to push forward the development of bilateral relations. Queen Elizabeth visited China in 1986 and went to Beijing, Xi'an, Kunming, and Guangzhou on that tour. She also brought an unsent letter written by Queen Elizabeth I in 1596 to Emperor Wan Li of the Ming Dynasty as a gift. Queen Elizabeth II was Britain's longest-serving monarch. Her elder son Charles is now king and will address the nation from London on Friday. Catherine Drew reports from outside Buckingham Palace.
People have been here overnight, laying flowers, laying personal notes for the Queen, of course, that most of the majority of Britons will have only known the Queen. She's been on the throne for 70 years, so most of us, of course, will have only known a female head of state and the Queen. You know, King Charles, obviously mourning the loss of his mother, but has to immediately get on with some official duties. He and his wife, the Queen Consort, Camilla, will return to London from Balmoral, and we understand that he will have a meeting with Liz Truss, the new Prime Minister of the UK. We have a ringing of bells ceremony at midday. MPs will be meeting to pay their tributes and also a gun salute. But this evening we will hear from King Charles III as he makes his first address as monarch.
Chinese scientists have discovered a new mineral from the moon samples retrieved by the Chang'e 5 probe. It's called Chang'e Site Y. The International Mineralogical Association has approved the name. It makes China the third country to discover a new mineral on the moon. Meantime, China has for the first time determined the concentration of helium-3 from Chang'e 5 lunar soil samples and its extraction parameters. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is now in Pakistan as devastating floods hit the country. He's appealing for support from the international community. The number of deaths from the flooding is over 1,300, with nearly 20,000 houses toppled. North Korea has passed a law declaring itself a nuclear weapons state. Leader Kim Jong-un says the move makes the country's nuclear status irreversible and bars denuclearization talks. Jack Barton has more from Seoul.
It is already in the constitution of the DPRK that it is a nuclear state, but this takes it a few steps further. Kim Jong-un said denuclearization talks would now become a line that could not be crossed, but also in terms of specifically pointing out when nuclear weapons can be used. And that includes any attack on the DPRK, also preemptively, if it is thought that the DPRK will come under attack, and any attempt to change the regime. He also talked about the need to develop more tactical nuclear weapons. And we have seen among the record number of weapons tests earlier this year.
China's Ministry of National Defense says Chinese and Indian troops have begun to disengage in the area of Jiannan Daban in the western Himalayas. The ministry says the disengagement took place in a coordinated and planned way and is conducive to peace and tranquility in the border areas. The disengagement was based on the consensus reached by the two sides in the 16th round of China-India Corps Commander level meetings. Stats show that China's consumer price index, a main gauge of inflation, rose 2.5% yearly in August. On a monthly basis, the CPI remained stable, down 0.1% from July. Among the main products, the prices of gasoline and diesel reported yearly growth of around 20%. U.S. authorities have charged former President Donald Trump's chief strategist with money laundering, conspiracy, and scheme to defraud. It comes after Steve Bannon turned himself into New York state prosecutors. Bannon's pleaded not guilty, saying it's nothing more than partisan politics. NASA is replacing leaky seals on its moon rocket in the hope of launching it on its first test flight by the end of the month. Engineers say they'll conduct another test after the repairs, which are undertaken at the launch pad to ensure all hydrogen fuel leaks are plugged. The leaks and other problems halted back-to-back launch attempts last week. NASA says if the test fails again, the rocket will return to the hangar for additional work, delaying liftoff until at least October. And that's the news. I'm Shane Bigham.